5 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific on pay-per-view next week. And let's welcome our two guys to the show to talk about it right now. First up, he's a friend of the show. He's a fellow Blue Crew rider, fellow motorsport rider, Ryan Villopoto. What's up, RV? How are you?
What's going on, guys?
Excited to have you on tonight to talk about this Fight Club. Let's welcome our next guest, brought to you by roostmx.net. He is, of course, the number 800, Mike Alessi. What's up, Mike? How are you, man?
Not much, Steve. Just out here in Florida, just enjoying life. It's just been, fun having a good day and doing a couple of fun videos. Me and RV been going back and forth and kind of shit talking, and it's been fun.
I like this. RV, where did this idea come from? Who came up with it, and what are your thoughts on Moto Fight Club?
All right, so I mean, obviously, all of us retired guys are kind of looking for our second career, finding a little niche that we can get involved with. So, as we all know, Rob Bitus has come up with a lot of great ideas in the past, and like Motocross the Nation's Pit Bike Race, that was a huge success. So Rob's always scheming to try to do something cool, the next cool thing. So obviously in these trying times that we're dealing with and we're up against with COVID-19. We're all, I'm sure everybody's gone through Netflix probably twice already and watched everything on TV, right?
Yeah.
So, called me. He's like, hey, dude, I have this idea. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it? And explained it. And obviously the next massive hurdle is which our industry doesn't do very well, is riders kind of sticking together for what they want and what they get.
Yeah.
So obviously getting a roster of riders, and we called upon some favors and called some riders, and some thought it was a great idea, and obviously you can see those 10 that are on the roster now. Myself, Mike, Jake, Kevin, TP, Brock Glover, Ivan, I know Bradshaw, Stanton, missing maybe a couple. We thought it was a great idea, and something fun for us to do, and give some live TV.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. Everyone's going to watch this.
I'm hoping everybody's going to watch it, right?
Hey, Mike, what was your Mike? When you got the call, Mike, were you all on board?
For sure, immediately. When I first heard the idea from Rob Bitus and he kind of pitched the idea, man, I was into it. Like I said, we're trying to perform and give these people. There's no racing right now. There's nothing live on television. So what is the best way to give back to the people, right? This live sports.
Yeah.
And that's where our idea is to put on this event and put on a good show for these fans. They want to see something live. Who doesn't love old rivalries? Bradshaw and Stanton, dude, that's the best shit ever right there. And then, obviously myself and IT and RV, dude, we're going to be going at it, and, we're going to try to saw off the front end of each other's front motorcycles.
RV, this is your chance to get Mike back for all those amateur beatdowns he put on you. This is the chance.
Yeah, very well could be, and vice versa for him. I think it's, right. It's let's put, no matter how you slice it, call it Red Bull Straight Rhythm, right? Everybody has seen that event actually evolve for quite well the last few years. It really has gotten a lot of traction, and no matter how you look at it, we're all racers, and people are like, oh, I don't want to watch. I've seen a couple of comments, a few, actually 90, probably 8% of comments have been really positive, but you got your few. You always got your haters out there.
Always. Yeah.
To the ones that are the haters, it's like, I don't want to watch those old farts ride around. Well, I can guarantee you, all of us will smoke your ass. The one that's saying that, but to back it up, we're all racers, and that's what. Yeah. You get behind a gate, bragging rights or not, whatever it is. It's like Straight Rhythm. There's really nothing to gain from Straight Rhythm, but I'm out there trying to
you're casing triples. You're casing triples on a 252 stroke, right? Yeah.
No, actually, it was a quad, Rob. Quad.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. So, Mathis, a quad. So, but yeah, we're gonna be going for it. That's one thing you can guarantee from. I think our industry or motorsports in general. Once a racer, always a racer.
Mike, what are you going to ride?
More than likely, I'm going to ride the 450 for sure.
Okay.
I was thinking about maybe riding the 125, but I don't know about that. I gotta ride the 450, be competitive with the boys. You know, they're going to be going for it, and you know, like I said, we're trying to put on a good show for the fans and people to watch this, you know, this race on FITE TV, and that's what we're trying to do is promote it and get it big, because this is what people need. They're like RV said, they're tired of Netflix. They're over it. They want to see some live action, and right now there's nothing fucking live on TV at all. The only thing live that's actually like somewhat relevant is the Michael Jordan Final Dance. That's the only thing. And you know, people are starving for some live action, and that's what our plan is to give them. It's
May 12th. The event is May 12th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on FITE.tv. They got an app, and you can get on your browser. You can get an app for it as well. RV, what are you going to ride?
I'll be riding the Blue Crew YZ 450.
YZ 450. Okay, also all right. So
yeah, YZ 450. Yep. And Steve, don't get that confused. It's actually FITE TV. So
I guess yes.
It's Apple and Android. It's on both platforms.
FITE, everybody. Yes, not FITE.
FITE. Yes, FITE TV. It's $19.99 and. You know, we've had the other comments to bring it. I got to bring up the ones that, you know, just the shit talkers, because that's just the way it goes, you know.
That's guys like me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you want to throw stones? I can throw them back, too. So the ones that are, you know, bitching about, oh, well, if you're trying to do such a good thing, you know, and you know, bring us some, you know, stuff to watch, you know, how come they're charging? Well, you know, let me ask you, how would you want us to, or want, you know, Rob to produce this thing?
Yeah. Camera's free, right? Yeah. Don't even bother.
Cameras
RV.
And all the back end side, right? And all the back end side to produce this and get it on pay-per-view for you guys. So, or like a pay-per-view like subscription, right? So, all that stuff takes some clang, right? So, you know, so yeah, that's why it's $19.99. You know, so. I think you know, I know that the racing that we're all going to put on is going to be good. I mean, think about Kevin and Travis. I mean, the last time that those two have raced was, you know, actually those two. I mean, the most memorable moment was probably, what was it, Vegas, when they were out there, you know, doing, heel clickers and knack-knacks and whatever else.
Whenever that was.
2004, Vegas.
2002, I think.
I'm going to ask both of you. I'm going to ask both of you the same question here. I'll start with you, Mike. Mike, who are you looking forward to racing against the most? Maybe it's RV. Get him back. And who are you looking forward to watching racing, Mike, out of the group?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of all the guys racing, and you know, like RV said about, you know, coming back and racing against me. At the end of the day, like, RV has surpassed so much in this sport. Like, he is like the mini GOAT of racing. So at the end of the day, I hope I get to race RV last, because you know one thing, he's going to be drunk by the time that the finals come. So I'm hoping I race RV last, but definitely I would love to race against like Stanton, Bradshaw, Brock Glover. Like, dude, it would be badass to see. I got to race against those dudes.
Right. RV, true that you will be drunk by the time the final comes around?
No, we practice safe racing, Steve.
Okay.
Safe racing.
All right. All right, RV.
So, I think.
Who are you looking forward to racing, and who are you looking forward to watching?
For me, obviously, I've raced a fair amount of these guys, but obviously I haven't raced Travis and Brock and Bradshaw. But I think for me, when I get there, then you see how the bracket racing starts to go and who starts to get knocked out and who doesn't. Right? I think then that's going to drive up my excitement on oh shit, who's going to come. But Mike, don't forget that we have a couple wild cards. So say I get knocked out.
Okay.
And I don't get to race Mike, or Ivan doesn't get to race Mike. There's wild cards that Rob has in store for us.
Oh my!
So the fans actually get to see. Okay, well, if Ivan gets knocked out and Devitt doesn't make it to Mike, or vice versa, I don't make it to Mike, or Mike doesn't make it to me.
Right.
They're going to get the matchup that everybody wants to see. So it's obviously, like we said, talked about bracket racing, best out of 3. So it's going to be
one lap or 2 laps. Did we decide on that?
So the plan is we're going to get there. Obviously, we have a rough idea what the lap time is on the track.
Yep.
But we need to get, obviously, our skill set out there, our level riding, to see if it is the same as the locals or if it's a little quicker. And then we'll go from there. But we've talked about it, and it also depends on where the starting gate is at, right? So if depending on where the lap kind of clicks over at, is it 2 laps or is it a lap and a half, roughly, depending on where the finish line's at and the starting gate and all that. So
there's the round table on Monday. That's free. That's free for everybody to watch.
That's right.
Yep.
So fireside convo Monday night. So if everybody's questioning, how this thing, should I tune in for it? Should I spend the $19.99 to get this, to watch this show? Monday night, we're going to have like that fireside conversation going around that. It's going to get the different era of like, okay, we get Travis and Kevin telling their story, myself and Mike, or, like Ivan. I'm sure there's going to be some really awesome conversation going on.
Wow.
And maybe Chef Boy RV might show up.
Oh boy. Oh, can't wait.
Hey, and if people have questions, they need to send them in, so we can answer these at the fireside. Like, we can answer these cool questions that the fans want to hear about, they want to ask. To the fans,
I think the best way to good. Yeah, exactly. Good. Telling them that. I guess I think easiest way to get that would be to probably. DM Moto Fight Club, so that they're stored inside, they're archived in
Moto Fight Club on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah, Moto Fight Club on Instagram. DM it to their handle, so that they're stored inside of there, and then Robbie will pull those up, and we have some questions that or stories, or if somebody said, "Hey, was this true?" or "This isn't true," so that we actually have something to go off of.
And also, too, when it comes time to purchase the race on May 12th, racerxonline.com/Fight Club, FITE Fight Club, to watch and go through RacerX Online and help those guys out as well. It's a good way to have everything right there. RacerX Online will have a whole complete package for sending people there and all of that. So the fireside chat sounds cool. Mike, will you attempt to stand on Ivan's bike at any point during the night at Fight Club?
Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully see Ivan on top of Mike's bike.
Yeah, there we go. He can finally get revenge, Mike, on you. He can stand on your bike.
Yeah, 15 years later, he's going to do the reversal and pull the kill switch on me.
Let me ask you, Mike, growing up as an amateur in racing, Ryan, and never mind the pro stuff, you guys had real rivalry in amateurs. You had it in pros too, but was there an amateur race between you two, Mike, that got like really gnarly at any point? Do you remember one?
Not really gnarly, but man, I'm sure RV remembers this, but it was Ponca City. It was, I want to say, a qualifier. It wasn't even the main event at the Amateur National at Ponca, and he freaking passed me and left me, and I was like, what the hell, what the fuck just happened? Like, he never, RV, straight up, he knows, he never beat me. It was that one and only moto, he crushed me, and it was just mind-blowing, and I'll always remember that as an amateur, straight up.
It's funny you asked that, Steve. I didn't know what exactly the question was going to go, but that's the race that popped into my same race that Mike just said was Ponca, and it was actually the turn right there by the starting line. There was that option line. You'd cross the start, and then you could either jump that big double or you could kind of go around it. Obviously, going around it was way slower, and we both jumped it, and I ended up getting up on the inside of Mike, and we didn't touch or anything, but basically he had to go over the little fluff berm that was there, and I went underneath of him, and I've probably straight up beat Mike maybe at that time, once or twice in my career straight up, but that was one of them for sure, if not the only one, like you said.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy to think about that.
I'll tell you what, that's definitely the sword that hits me in the heart that I remember the most was that moto that weekend. I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, I just got beat straight up by RV.
And by the way, I talked to Stanton the other day for this, and they're going to auction off the helmets, the jerseys, the gloves. A portion's going to go to Road to Recovery, the goggles for docs, and that kind of stuff as well. So thanks to those guys for doing that, or thanks to you guys for doing that, I think. So it's a good point. Good thing. I'm looking forward to watching Stanton and Bradshaw. Screw all you and Glover. Screw all you guys. I've watched all you race, either as a mechanic or as in the media. But Stanton and Bradshaw and Glover, I'm down for that.
Well, so Steve, you thought this was initially. I'm like, hey, what do you think? And you're like, oh, well, I don't care about pit bike race. And I look over at you and I say, it's not a fucking pit bike race.
I thought it was pit bike. Sorry, bro.
I mean, I don't know what you've been smoking lately, but it's not a pit bike race.
It was on my e-bike.
And all I can say is I was at the inaugural Chicagoland Speedway that Rob put on, the 110 race, and we had Bradshaw Stanton show. It come, to the race, or Rob did, and Brownie also. And I am going to sit here and tell you that the Bradshaw, Brownie, and Stanton 110 race, mind you, these guys are obviously they're older, but like. In not everybody can ride a pit bike. Like the pit bikes aren't easy to ride and to ride fast. And dude, they all show up. Bradshaw shows up full boots. I'm in fucking high top Vans, because that's how us young kids run the pit bike scene.
Sure.
And Bradshaw full boots, Stanton full boots, and Brownie full boots. And they had one or two of the races that we had that weekend were the best races we had all weekend. Bradshaw, I think, ended up on the ground once. It was bar banging a battle on pit bikes, and I'm sitting on the sidelines and I'm watching because it was a qualifier. And obviously, I've been around a lot of racing in my time, and dude, I was sitting on the sidelines. I was dying laughing and like watching them battle back and forth, like going for kills on the pit bike. And it was so rad. So obviously I think the big bikes are going to change the going for kills part.
Yes.
That's one thing that we all know that going into this thing, we want to put on a good show, but we're not out. I mean, none of us have anything to gain by doing that. We just want to give a good product.
Right.
But I think the battles are going to get close.
I don't mean to cut you off, but could you imagine Glover, who is 59 years old, almost 60, beating one of us young guys? I mean, that'd be crazy. He's fit, dude. He's in shape. I mean
100% he is.
Wyndham's in shape, but I mean, he can still go pretty damn fast.
I'm sure. I hope
100%. And I think here's the thing that is the beauty of kind of the situation is normally you have sections that'll break the track up, or that'll like, oh, here comes Stu and he jumps the quad, and then all of a sudden RV comes and jumps the triple. Obviously the quad's faster, right? So, but we're on. I've seen footage or a video or a photo of the track, and it's basically all doubles or all tabletops.
Yep.
And like,
well, yeah, you got to make it good for everybody. Yes, I'm
exactly.
Yeah, right.
So my point being, there's no separator of the track, which is great because you have a guy like Bradshaw and a guy like me. Bradshaw can race me and vice versa, and then like Brock will race. So you're not going to say, oh, here it comes the 3-second gap, and no, there's none of that. So
I hope Bradshaw just parks. I hope Bradshaw parks you, RV. God, I hope he just parks you.
Man, you never know. Shit, you never know. He's rode more than I have.
He's the beast, bro.
Month, 2 months. The beast from the east.
Exactly. Hey, we got a question from Evan on 2. Evan, what's your question for the Moto Fight Club crew?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good show tonight. This thing is going to be sick. I'm stoked, but I really want to know what it would take to get J-Law out there.
Did anybody reach out to J-Law?
Okay, so that's another thing. Good thing you mentioned. Good thing you actually. Great question, because look, guys, we've kind of stepped as the 10 riders that we have right now. We've stepped it up, meaning like, and we've stepped out onto taking a chance and going out on a limb. I think for us, and also call it for the fans. Like, we don't know how this is going to all turn out for us. We're hoping it's going to turn out great, right? That's the ultimate goal. But yes, we put in some calls to other people that we thought that would, without disclosing a whole lot of names, but we put a few other calls out to some heavy hitters like J-Law, for instance, since you already threw his name out there, and to believing in the system and believing in the idea, or just things didn't pan out. Let's put it that way.
Timmy Ferry.
What about Chicken?
Hold on, Evan. Timmy Ferry texted me and said that you guys figured he'd smoke everybody, and that's why you wouldn't invite Red Dog, which I believe also.
So there's a lot of people that we talked about inviting. we know, like Timmy's got, I mean, little Red Dog is out there just throwing nasty ass whips and just training, and Timmy's got his shit going on. So I feel like the team that we have together right now, we called upon people that we knew we could, like, not that we couldn't count on Red Dog, but it's like, hey, do you want to do this? And they're like, yes, it sounds like a great idea. Like, and hey, do you want to do this? Right. Yep, I'm in. So we wanted people that were, that wasn't a question, hey, can I do it? Can I not do it? Like, it was just like, hey, tell me the story. What's the story? I think it's an awesome idea. We'll be there. So that's how we've ended up with this thing, and this number. So I think the way we have it set up, we'll start to musical chairs. Will start to happen, and we'll get new guys and old guys, and we'll bring them back in and rotate them out, and it's going to be good.
Motorsport.com and Blue Crew rider Ryan Villopoto on the line, brought to you by VortexRacing.com. Also brought to you by Roost MX. It's Mike Alessi, the 800, also on the line. Mike, have you been riding much? What's the prep like for this thing for you?
I have been riding, not a lot, but a fair bit amount. Obviously, I raced the German Supercrosses through the winter and raced Denmark, which was great, and was able to win that. So I've done a fair bit of riding, not obviously to the extent of a full like Supercross, motocross season every single day.
Right.
But I was getting ready for more racing. And this whole quarantine thing happened, and it kind of shut everybody down.
Right. And RV, one of my biggest regrets in my life, RV, when we went out e-biking the other day in Cali, is I missed your crash on an e-bike. I missed it.
Oh, yeah, I pushed the front end.
I would have loved to have seen it.
I was pissed because that bike hasn't hit the ground yet, and it fucking hit the ground.
Well, you knew I was coming down the trail, so you probably were rushing things a little bit because I was coming.
I mean, I was into it. Like, I love your enthusiasm over the e-bikes. I mean, I have probably as much as you right now with those things. They're awesome.
Don called us the king and prince of e-bikes. So.
Well, you are the king. You are the king. He said, yeah, no, actually, Mathis is the king. He loves it.
Right. No, they're incredible, aren't they, Ryan? They're great.
I did. To be honest, didn't spend a ton of time on one until I just traded my other bike in on this one.
Yeah.
And started riding it. And you can turn it obviously all the way up and give it as much, pretty much as much power as you want.
Yeah.
Or you can run it down. And I try to run mine on Eco most of the time, so that I obviously get a workout. And on Eco you can push your heart rate up to easily 160.
Well, I was 171 on our ride. On Eco. So
all right, there you go, people. There you go. Get yourself an e-bike.
Right. Andy, you got a question for these guys?
Sure. Going back to the mini days, though, this kind of goes back to the guy's email about the passion.
Right.
So if Mike was beating RV so much as in the minis, is that what gave him the drive? Did it give him more passion, as the email stated earlier? Is that what, Ryan, did that put you over the top and really made you step up your game when you hit Supercross?
To be honest, I don't ask me why. I guess things end up the way they ended up. I don't know. The why things flip flopped in our career, I guess, call it. Mike was like you said, or won pretty much everything as an amateur, and it was it's not like he turned pro and was a slouch. I can't answer your question why things panned out the way they panned out. I don't think anybody will be able to ever figure that one out.
And then one for Mike, real quick. How are you liking the Blinzall bike?
I am loving it, honestly. I wish that racing, for many reasons, variable reasons, would go back to two-strokes. First and foremost, one being they're so much more fun to ride than a four-stroke. Two, they're so easy to work on, super cheap. You blow it up and it's 45 minutes to an hour. You put a piston, you're back, you're riding again. And three, the biggest reason obviously is that you can only ride them so fast, right? So you can't get as injured, where on the four-stroke you're going so fast. The crashes are way gnarlier, way harder, and you break more shit, obviously. And with the Blinzall oil, it's so awesome having David as a sponsor of mine and supporting me for these 125 Nationals if they end up happening this summer. You know, obviously that was my plan, but yeah, I love riding two-strokes, and yeah, Blendzall's been a huge part of that, and you know, being a supportive to me.
Are you saying you're not going back to Canada, Mike? Do we know that?
Nope,
for sure?
no Canada this summer.
Yeah.
Pretty much done up there. I've had a good run up there, racing since 2014.
Yeah.
So all the way till 19, got second in 14, second in 19 last year. Lost the championship by literally 14 points, 15 points, something like that, and. Yeah, I'm pretty much done up there, and I'm going to be racing the Nationals on the 125, hopefully with RV.
Yeah,
RV
will be there, I'm sure.
Hell yeah! And you know, now that you know, RV and I are older, you know, we got kids, and you know, I want to be more closer to home, and I'm sure RV understands that. It's the same thing. You know, we're on the road, you know, 30 weekends of the year, going to different supercrosses and motocross races and different hotels and, you know, rental cars, and the shit gets old, and it's nice to be able to come home and be with my family and be close.
RV, is it true that Stu wanted the race, but you turned him down because you were scared of him? That's just what I heard. That's the rumor.
I mean, I wish the Stoolable would show up. That would be unreal. So, but no, maybe he lost my number. I don't know. I never got that call, Steve, unless I don't know where that ended up. But yeah, I didn't see the Orlando number, the 407, coming in.
Yeah.
I never got that 407 area code coming in, bro.
Hey, Mike, that would have been cool
Yeah,
if Stu.
I can send you his number. I got it. I talked to James.
Oh, you have? You've talked to James?
I got it.
All right.
Need it.
1999, Moto Fight Club, FITE, May 12th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Get it on Android apps, iOS apps. Get it on the web browser. Go through racerxonline.com/Fight Club, FITE to watch on May 12th. Vortex Racing bringing you Mike Alessi. Roost MX bringing you, Vortex bringing you Ryan Villopoto. Roost MX bringing you Mike Alessi. Well, boys, I'm excited. I can't wait. Thanks for the time tonight, both of you. And you better get riding because this thing's in 1 week. So
yeah, right. So yeah, no, thanks for having us on, and you know, yeah, hopefully this goes well for everybody that's involved. I think the better this thing goes for all of us, I think you'll see this happen again, which you know, I'm hoping that it does.
I'm hoping too. Thanks, Mike, for your time, and thanks, Ryan. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
All right, see you later. That's Ryan Villopoto and Mike Alessi. What do you think, Andy, after having them on the line?
I think it's pretty good, and they're like talking about building on the show. Maybe make it a two-stroke event. We're still on big bikes, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Something.
Right.
I don't know.
I love the make the track easy. Don't kill anybody. Have some fun.